but you still got to practice.
I know you gotta practice YOLO.
I'm just saying. Just put that out there.
Like, girl, what are you doing? Get in there. Get that.
Right? I'd rather you practice on the vape than somebody else. Shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Oh man.
Oh,
Makes
man.
sense, though. It makes sense. Why would you want to practice anything else?
I love my soundboard sometimes. It's so good.
You just playing, queuing up sounds over there.
So good. Anyway, let's segue over to, since we were talking about fighting games, who do you think would win in a fight? Now, I want some chat participation on this one. Give me somebody that you would want to see in a fight. Keep it like video game related. Like, I'll start out. Let's go with let's say Ares from the DC universe versus Kratos from God of War. Who do you think would win in a fight?
Ooh.
Ares from the DC.
Because they're both immortal gods. You know what I mean? But who would
And
win
it's
in
like
a fight?
get tired at this point.
Mm-hmm.
See, but Ares was like supposed to be the infinite god of like that realm too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It'd be
I'm
interesting.
trying to think here.
I think in the games, like they made Kratos look like a freaking badass. I think Kratos would still have it.
I don't know.
Even-
in the DC series, they made Ares like super unstoppable, and then he was kind of like this side character for a while, where he'd be like a bargaining tool, where like people would go to him and be like, "Would you give me power to help kill this guy?" And he's like, "Whatever." Just, and then they win. You know what I mean? Like Superman went to Ares and was like, "You know, I need more power to beat this guy," and he's like, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, because he's from Wonder Woman's world, and he's supposed to be the god of war for them.
Right.
So I feel Kratos would win because he, like, Ares didn't have much of powers. He was just super powered in general. Like, there wasn't much of like, oh, you know,
He doesn't have like, you know, skills. He just has the ability to not die and cause war and shit.
Oh, I mean, I think more or less that's the part that would really happen is that like Ares would lose to like because Kratos first of all has the fucking swords.
Right.
So I think right there we've already proven that you know he's got this.
Well,
So
Ares
that's-
always had his like Greek style 300 sword and shield with the Ares logo, and the shield could like reflect anything, you know, and everything, kind of like Captain America's shield. It was like the same kind of deal.
Yeah, no, this is very true. It was very true. It's not that it's not.
But Kratos is like, fuck a shield.
He's just
I
like,
just get hit. Who cares? You know what I mean?
yeah, he didn't care. That was what made that fight even better. Especially when if you weren't playing on hard mode, they actually made that fight super tough in hard mode. For the first God of War game, I think me and a buddy of mine sat for like 4 hours when we first got God of War at that fight, and then we did it, and it was like the world's greatest accomplishment. But that in itself, like they made Kratos look way more amazing than Ares would ever be.
So I saw somebody the other day on Steam. They were going live with the Star Trek game. So
Yeah.
that makes me think, who would win in a fight? If William Shatner, Jean-Luc Picard, who would win in a fight? Remember,
William Shatner.
William Shatner just has the ability to go, "Oh no, one punch and you're dead." Like
I know,
Jean-Luc
like-
Picard is like, "Logic, you can't kill me with one punch," and break his logic.
Or what he could do, he could be doing the straight up thing, or I was gonna say he could be doing like have his like number 2 take care of everything. And number 2 is a pretty formidable person. So he'd be like, make it so, number 2, and then like number 2 would just jump right in and start fighting.
Okay, let me put it to you this way: in real life, who would win now since they're both old?
Oh,
Ooh.
fucking Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh yeah, hands
Yeah.
down.
Straight up, the man takes care of himself and he's constantly
I
active.
think Shatner would Priceline negotiate his way out of that one.
That's not negotiation.
Shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
He'd Priceline his ass out of that thing, like book himself a flight, get away from his fist. He'd make it so.
He doesn't even have to show up to the fight. With all the deals I saved, I can afford to not
Why the
be
fuck
here.
do I need to be here?
Like, meanwhile, in Tahiti, like,
Yeah, no, that's the thing that I always find funny about this kind of stuff. It's like people, the fights. I love these the fictitious fights because like some people get really amped up about them. But I'd say straight up like it would be Picard because Picard's more active. Like Shatner just probably wouldn't even give a fuck.
Shatner's just kind of like fat and old, but you see he does his own stunts for all his commercials.
Apparently,
that was it. That was the whole thing. Jump on the screen. Are you folks trying to save some money?
I know.
Bruh. What
He's
if,
now.
what if Haley Cuoco was his sidekick?
I don't know. She's
I still got my money on Picard.
possible. Yeah, I'd have to say it would just go with Picard. I mean, like Picard just. I feel Picard could whip a lot of ass, and you would never know that you got your ass beat by Picard.
Right.
It'd be like one of those moments where you're just like, oh fuck.
Like Adam Sandler versus Bob Barker. It would be like that.
Yeah, like Bob Barker, that's basically Picard. He'd be like fucking shit up, and people would be like, dude, fucking Picard is crazy, man.
You know that there's like a following on the internet, like there's this thing that says that Bob Barker is actually a vampire. Like there are people that believe that Bob Barker is one of like the last vampires. Like he's a legit vampire because he lives for freaking ever. He hasn't aged in 20 years. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
completely. That I can see.
His game show face looked the same for 20 years. Period. There wasn't hair
And then
loss.
Even
there
when he
wasn't
wasn't, like
hair
if you see him
growth.
in anything now, he's still that's Bob Barker. It's not wrinkly old Bob Barker. It's just Bob Barker with white hair. Like that's it. Like he's,
Wow.
I gotta say, he might be one of the with all the money he made off of Price is Right. He probably could have just bought immortality.
Maybe that's how he met Drew Carey as it's his new legacy to pass it on to him. So Drew Carey now will go on for years as the next Bob Barker. So maybe it's when you do the Price is Right. It's really the transfer power of like you could never leave this show until you find a replacement.
That makes me think of who do you think would win in a fight, Drew Carey or Elton John? Because they kind of look the same.
Oh yeah.
I'd say
two angry
Drew Carey.
lesbians.
No, I got my money on Elton John.
I'd have to say Elton John. Yeah, I mean, that man probably bites a lot of pillows, but
He's gonna just play the piano and walk all over him.
Oh, that sounded very
Drew Carey's
misogynistic.
a
Sorry,
Marine.
guys.
He'll work hard through that struggle regardless.
I mean, I think of anybody who knows a struggle would be, John himself, because everything he had to endure while writing music. So,
Right.
it's
give you that.
just like it's never easy for somebody to deal with that shit.
I think either way, Elton John will get his earring ripped out and then go into like full on rage mode.
Ooh, do you think he would take that low blow, just rip the earring out, and then like fight each
So
other?
it's not gonna be like it's not gonna be like the
It
choice.
could.
It's just
It
like
could-
Drew Carey would just kind of like go for a bitch slap and then grab the earring and pull. Then Elton John would just go on full on just rage. Could happen.
Rage mode.
I'd like to see it. I would. I'd pay for it.
He'd just be
I
rage.
would.
I'd pay $5 for it.
I actually was looking up celebrity deathmatch stuff to see if they actually had one yet, and they didn't.
They
start
do
selling our
have
ideas.
Elton John. There's an Elton John death match.
There was with somebody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, it was like with someone else or something. Like I forget what it was, but it was. I don't mind death matches. Like some of them were like, yeah, totally
It
warranted.
was
Like
Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh yeah, we know who's gonna win that one.
I think we gave Ozzy too much credit because Sharon literally was trying to push to get more money, and Ozzy was like, "I'm a musician. I don't even care anymore. Just let me die already."
Sharon, I don't wanna.
No.
Sharon, just divorce me, you ugly whore. I know you're banging the poor boy.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think
I think in a fight between Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne, Sharon would win every time. I think she's 10 times more crazy than Ozzy, and crazy beats big. It doesn't matter.
Does she still have cancer, or did she beat it like 2 or 3 times now?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't follow her that closely, but I think she's doing well because I saw her on something the other day.
I
Saw her on,
remember
like,
she
The
had
View or
cancer
something.
for the longest time.
That's not good.
maybe it's because we think she's cancer. That could be a possibility.
Ooh, shots fired.
No, she like physically like when they were doing the Osbourne life or whatever,
Is cancer.
had cancer like straight up. And there was it was like she's got cancer and
She already survived Ozzy trying to kill her once. I'm not gonna comment. I'm just true.
men okay. not
True.
to be sexist by any means. Men
Shots
or
fired.
women survival.
Fatality.
Who do you think would have the better survivor benefits in the wild?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
I think Ozzy
Man
would be running
has
around the island like biting heads
hundreds
off
of-
bats and turtles and shit.
man has lived for hundreds of years with, something sucking the life out of him. Time.
Shots fired.
It's still alive or equipped.
I don't know, man. I think if you took a colony of all dudes, it wouldn't go very well. Look at Sparta. And then if you took a colony of all women, well, we've never seen that work.
I think that was the joke they made about it. I can't remember what it was, but it was oh god, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was Family Guy, where it's all the guys ended up resulting in becoming friends, and then all the women were fighting each other. It's like they just woke up and they just keep fighting for some reason.
True. I believe
So-
that. Because with guys, you can get in a fight with another dude and then be friends afterwards. With girls, it's like they get in a fight and they talk about it for the next 50 years. Like,
What were we even fighting about, Beck? I don't know. And
and then like they'll make up and then they'll be bitches again. And then they'll make up and then the boyfriends are all looking at each other like, y'all stupid. Why y'all
Like,
do this?
what is going on?
Sorry, Mark,
That-
we can't be friends this week. I'm supposed to hate you too now.
See,
All
but
right.
that's the same goes for us, because I don't want to make it sound like it's just like we're saying only women. Like, we do stupid stuff too, where we're so stubborn to where we literally will hold grudges for too long and
Ask
never
for
realize.
directions.
I guess it depends
Nope.
on the person. I don't really hold a grudge. If I gotta fight you, I fight you, and then after that, it's like, okay, we're good.
Water under the bridge.
Yeah. That's how it was in high school. It was like, you get in a fight with somebody, and then it's just like, cool.
Yeah, so there was no one you ever hated. There was no one like, fuck that guy.
I mean, there were people I hated, but they wouldn't fight me. That's why I was like, all right, cool. Then it's gonna be unresolved, and I'm just gonna call you a bitch. So that's it. You know
I
what
like
I
how
mean?
you're
Like,
like-
until
like,
you actually fight me about it, then I don't really care. Like, I don't hate you. Like, I'm gonna go do stuff to you. Like, I'm not gonna fuck with you. But I'm also not gonna be like, oh yeah, let's hang out. You know what I mean? Like, I obviously dislike this person for reasons, and based on your character, I do not like you, and I wouldn't hang out with you. But it's not like I'm gonna go out of my way, to make your day worse. Like, it was never like that. It was like some guy would be like, hey, I heard you were talking shit, and I'm just like, if I was gonna talk shit, I'd talk shit to your face. And then they'd be like, well, fight me about it. Okay, and then we'd fight about it, and then they'd be like, all right,
Want
that's
to
it.
fight about it?
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
It's like, whatever.
Every fight I ever been in, somebody just comes up and hits me, and then I just gotta beat the crap out of them, and then we're good. That was it. Like, that's the way it is in high school. And then it's like, okay, whatever. I know I can't beat him, or I know I can beat that guy, and then you know where you're at. It's kind of like a pack of dogs. Like, you know where you stand. You know who the leader is. You know whose butt you're allowed to sniff, and you know whose butt you're not supposed to sniff. Like, you just know. But with females, it's like, they just go back and forth 5 ever. I don't understand.
I see.
You see my point, It's like, there is a social hierarchy, and guys don't have to talk about it.
No, I get it. I get it completely. That's what I was saying. I was like,
Like, I'm not saying I'll fight anybody, but, I mean, I know where I stand. You know what I mean? Like, if a dude comes up, he's 300 pounds of straight muscle, I'm gonna be like, you wanna talk
Nope.
about it? Like,
Do you want to talk about this,
When a
bro?
guy comes up and he's like my size, and he's just like, I heard you were with my girlfriend, I'm gonna be like, you heard wrong. And then if they want to fight me about it, then I gotta fight him about it. That's it. I don't believe you until you punch me in the face. All right. Okay.
Let's break the nose and go call
Yeah,
it
I
a
mean,
day.
it's like, all right, cool. Now we're both in the hospital, and we both look stupid, and then we're good.
I love how that end resulted there. We're just like,
That's how it usually. I was like, oh, we're both in the principal's office now. God damn it, Jimmy! Look what you started. And then we don't care. Because then the story is like, oh, dude, I heard they beat the shit out of each other. Oh yeah, dude. And then really, like, it was like 2 punches.
Yeah, one punch to your nose, one punch to his nose. That was it.
Yep.
Both broken. You're at the hospital, like, well, we're getting. Oh, look, same doctor. Hey.
The only time I saw a fight where that happened and it didn't work, it was like, for whatever reason, these guys were fighting, and the one dude just smashed this guy's face in so hard that he broke his own hand. Like, the one guy went to the hospital, and the other guy just went to the nurse, and he was just like, fuck that guy. That was it. Like, they never talked to each other again after that. But most of the time, it works out pretty well. I was like, damn.
Wow.
Remind me not to fuck with that guy.